Hi, I'm Farmer Scott. I'm a retired shop teacher, and now I love to spend my days on the farm in West Virginia. You might find my videos helpful. I go over machinery, basics, how-tos, and show you how to do things. Thanks for watching. Hello YouTubers. Today I'm going to show you my brand new John Deere 450E round baler. Now you might say, well, it's not new. Well, I've got 50 bales I've run through this, so it's still new, and I'm still learning how to use it. The 450E is probably one of the more base model balers John Deere makes, but I had to fit it into my budget, and it fit in there nicely. They made me a good deal on the baler, and they added a few things. When you buy a 450E just off the lot, a lot of them don't have these wheels here. These are called gauge wheels. Well, when I decided to buy this, I said, we got to have gauge wheels. So they put them on. It wasn't too expensive. And then I found out that this doesn't have what they call a bale shape monitor. In other words, there's two graphs inside, and I'll show you later. And they climb, each side climbs, and I'll show you, indicating how much hay is on each side of the chamber. Well, it didn't have that, so back here, up in here on each side, they have monitors that I bought extra. It wasn't too expensive either. And I had them add that to this package, and well worth the money. It wasn't very expensive, I didn't think, for what it does. And now those monitors send a message up to my monitor in the cab of the tractor and tells how full each side of my chamber is. I don't know what you would have done or what they do without that. And I thought, well, if I'm going to buy this, I got to have a way of knowing how much hay's in that chamber and when to discharge it and stuff like that. So anyway, I added that. That's the second thing I added before I got it, and it didn't come with it. This model doesn't come with those monitors, but they add it, and it's not a big deal. It's hardwired for it. All you got to do is buy the sensors, and it's kind of a plug and play ordeal. Then one more thing, and I can't really show it to you. Inside here, I purchased from John Deere a high moisture kit. And what that does, as most of you know, it allows you to bale hay that's a little bit wetter than what you're normally used to. A guy like me, I was used to, it had to be pretty dry. But with that high moisture kit, it allows you to make pretty wet hay if you want to. I don't know what percentage you could get by with, but I'm not going to get it wringing wet. But if you don't have something like that, that hay can gum up inside there, plug it up, and then you're not working from the tractor, you're working under the baler. And that's no fun. You might notice this is an electric tie. There's an electric cord that comes from my monitor, and it sweeps across there and puts twine. This is a twine tie. It isn't a net wrap. Some of these come in a net wrap, but I'm not going to talk about that because I don't know anything about it. But I want a twine tie because I'm going to wrap my bales in plastic. Some of you will notice I plugged that one up. I don't let the twine come out of there. Well, that's my own modification. And the reason I did that is because the first bale I did, I just wanted to see what it did and how it worked. I was nervous about it. And in my opinion, it put way too much twine on there. Now I'm going to wrap these bales, and I didn't feel like I need a lot of twine on it. So what I did is plug this up, and you know how you come up with these great ideas, and most of the time, for me anyway, they don't work. But in this case, it's worked great. I just And I use less twine. That's not what I was really after, but I just didn't want a whole lot of twine wrapping my bales, because you know in the winter time when it's about 10 degrees, you keep pulling twine off your bales, and that's no fun. So I minimized how much twine I put on there. I put 2 wraps on each end, and about every 5 inches I put a twine, you know, so and that's enough, I think. Now some people would say, well, that's not enough, but right now that's what I'm going to stick with. I kind of like it, and it was my own thinking. I'm not sure it's proper, but that's what I'm doing right now, and it's working. Another thing that they've changed about these balers, I have a 446 in the barn. That's a pretty good baler still, but it's older. It's a 93 model. These PTO shafts, the one on my other baler, a 446, that thing, you got to be a weightlifter to lift it up. It's really heavy, and they've really lightened the shaft weight, and it's easier to handle. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's good for me when I'm hooking it up, that's for sure. And they have this chain here. It's kind of a safety chain, and that's pretty standard. They've had that for years. My other baler has that kind of a chain, and that's a good chain. And we have a hydraulic hookup here for the gate, and that's how we get the gate open. It's not electric or anything, it's hydraulic. And I have a hook to a lever up in the cab, and when I want to get rid of the bale, I hit the lever and the gate opens up. You'll notice that I'm missing the jack here. There's a jack that lifts that up when you want to unload it. Well, I'm only about 150 yards from my barn, and I just took it off, and because I didn't want something snagging on it, and some people would probably tell me that's not what you should do, but that's what I do. Now if I go a mile or so away from home, I'm going to bring it with me. I'm going to pull this baler with my new Holland Powerstar 75, and like I say, I've already made 53 bales. That's how many bales I've made with this machine, this baler. And I want to just say that it's really done a tremendous job. When I first bought it, I didn't know what I had. You know, I'm buying the cheaper of the ones that they offer, and when you start using the words cheaper or less expensive, you think they're going to cut back on the quality. But in my opinion, they haven't. It's a really nice baler. I've made 3 bales, and it's really a joy to make with it. It just doesn't mess up right now. And I know my day's coming. You know, everything breaks eventually. But right now, I always wondered what a brand new baler would be like, because I buy used ones and you don't know whether a bearing is getting ready to go out. Of course, they could go out on a new one. I realize that. But it gives you a lot of peace of mind when you get something new, and after 50 bales it works, and it works nicely. I had to check in the book last night, or online actually, to see exactly how big a bale this will make. Well, I saw where it's a 46-inch wide, and you can make a 60-inch tall. And I think what I'm going to do is go with a 58-inch bale, just to try not to overdo it and stretch the belt, especially it's a new baler. Even the booklet said your first 50 bales you ought to go, like, I think they said 48 inches, and I did, and because that's a break-in period. So I thought, well, I'm not going to push it to 60 inches. I'll go 58 today and see how things go. It's only 2 inches difference. Yeah, but this baler is as nice a one as I've ever had. It's brand new, but this I think is a 2021 baler, and I think it's American made in Iowa, and but I really like it so far. I hope I like it for about 20 years. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, on the side over here, they loaded this up for me, the John Deere dealer. And so I got enough for today, I'm sure. On the front side, these are, everybody knows what those are. That's kind of a friction device. And it comes through the wheel. This thing spins. And when you are making a bale, you'll see that spinning. And you'll know things are going good. If that thing's sitting still, there's nothing going on. Now, some of you YouTubers are going to say, well, that you should wrap it one time like this. Well, I thought so too. But they said with thick sisal twine, don't do that. Just do this. And I was a little skeptical, but it works. They were right. I'm not going to argue with them. Let's see. Then we got these belts, you know, they brag about them. I don't know what's so special about them, but I know one thing. These are stouter than, I can't even think what, it's a simple word. I can't think of what but they connect and interlock, and but they look real strong, and they're riveted in there, I believe. And so they're there for a long time, I think. Trying to think, oh, let's come back over here. Oh, this is just a, there's so much dust on it, I didn't see that. Okay. All that is a panel where you can do some greasing, for one thing, and check this belt and oil this roller chain, and take this off if you have to, and get to it. So I like that. It's and there's an adjustment here if you need to tighten this pulley up and so forth. Here's a sensor right here that tells if your gate is shut. And on my monitor, if it's shut, it'll show a green light that says gate shut. And if it's open, it'll show an icon with the gate looking like it's open. And boy, is that handy. Because on the old Balers, you didn't know for sure if that gate was closed. And in this instance, or in this model, you know. And it's pretty accurate too. Another thing I really never knew for sure is how do you adjust these gauge wheels? And the dealer set it up for me, and they knew what they were doing. I'm convinced. And it looks like there's a hollowed out area, so that's not going to be real accurate. But what you do is you turn this lever down until those wheels touch. There. And another thing you want is for those teeth to be about 1 inch from the ground. Now, right now, it doesn't look like it is, but I think we're on a hump here. Now, you might say, well, what's the matter with them just hitting the ground? It's just hard on the machine, you know, and hard on the teeth. And they recommend keeping those teeth up 1 inch, maybe 2 inches above the, like this cut grass. And I'm going to recheck that before I get started and hope, when I baled last, it was all good. So I think I'm just on a little bit of a hump here, hopefully, but I'll just tell you, the book says try to keep those teeth about 1 inch, maybe 2 inches above the grass or where you mowed, and let the wheel come to rest. Those wheels are like wheels on your lawnmower, you know, you're riding lawnmowers. They're anti-scalp and things like that. Well, that's not what that's for. What it is to keep your head from digging into the dirt on a little hill or a hump. It protects it, and they're pretty important. Oh, let's open this up. Now, like I said, I've got a John Deere 446, and it looks very similar inside, but but I'm going to tell you on this one, I could be wrong, but these roller chains are bigger. They're wider, they're heavier, they're beefier. And that's a good thing. Bigger's better in this world. And probably after this hay field, if I get a break, I'm going to air hose all this out, even the chains, and re-oil them. But right now, I think they'll be all right for today. And you have all these adjustments. You've got an idler there you could adjust. And there's one up there. And, you know, I trust the factory that they've set them right, and the dealer I bought from, they went over it. And they're proven to be a really good dealer. Anyhow, that's my baler. I showed you the baler, and now I want to show you the monitor, which really messed with my mind because I didn't know what the monitor would do or how it works or does it work. I bought the low end on the John Deere Balers. Will this monitor, does it do anything? And it did. It does. It's a good system, and I'm kind of looking forward to showing you all the stuff. Now, before I baled the first time, I was really nervous about it. I'm low tech, and this thing is not so much high tech, but I didn't know what it would do, and it is awesome, and I want to show you how awesome it is. Come on in. I'm going to turn the switch on. I don't have to turn the tractor on. And then I'm going to turn the monitor on. Nothing's on yet. You got to go to on off, just like that. And there you go. And it shows right now the gate's open. And I don't know why it's showing that, but we could fix that, as you can see. Now, the thing that really threw me off on these bale shape, the bale shape graph, I guess is what you call it, is I always think a graph ought to start at 0. And I thought, is there something wrong with that? I had a sleepless night thinking about that. But that's where it starts. It starts in the middle like that, those graphs. And then as you start baling, you'll start getting a numerical count of how thick the bale is. 32 inches, 38 inches. It keeps reading it out. And then this bar will go up, this one will go up. You try to keep them even. You want that, actually. You want it to go all the way up and be even all the way. Then you got a nice bale. Now, let me just show you some things. So here's where on off is. Now it's on. Next thing we do is, let's say we want, how thick do we want a bale? So I made it 48 inches before. What did I tell you I was going to do? 58. So we hit the plus button. There we go. Okay, now we want to talk about how many wraps do you want on each side, on each end rather. You press that, and I said 2. Then you go right side, and I want 2 at the other end. Okay, let's review here. Let's see how big a bale I'm going to get, because I changed it. 58-inch bale. Okay. Then, this one here, how many twine ties per, how many inches before they put another twine tie? Well, let's see. Every 4 inches they're going to put a twine. And then how many bales have I made already today or this season? 51. Huh. I told you 53. I guess I'm lying. These buttons are manual type buttons. If you want to extend your tying arms or retract it, or you get to the end of a field and you only got a 32-inch bale in there, you can override and just hit wrap and it'll wrap it right now. Now, the one thing that I was really impressed with, and I really wasn't sure that this baler would do it. I didn't think I had fancy enough baler. When that baler gets to like 52 inches, it's going to emit 2 beeps. You heard beeps. Well, it'd be 2 long beeps. And that's your warning. And then when it gets to 58 inches, the baler is going to emit 4 loud beeps, and you stop. You stop right then. Because if you keep baling, well, you stop right then because it's starting to tie your bale automatically. I didn't know it would do that. I thought surely what I bought isn't going to be that automatic, but it is. That was fascinating. So when the 4th beep hits, that thing is going to start tying. And that's pretty cool. But you got to get used to it because you want to say, well, let me pull up here a little bit farther. Well, if you do pull up, you're starting to wrap hay over your tied hay. And that's no good. It looks ugly, and plus you're kind of wasting hay. So what you do on the 4th beep, you put your clutch in, put your brakes on, and let it wrap maybe. But then you back up. I'd back up about 8 foot. And then you have to eject the bale right here, or I do with this lever for your hydraulics. It doesn't do it by the John Deere mechanisms. You got to do it through your tractor. Now, some more expensive tractors, they probably have that automatic too, but I don't have that. And that's no big deal. So what you do, you stop immediately on the 4th beep. You back up to a place, and that you hopefully it won't roll down to your neighbor's yard. And you lift your tailgate up, let it drop out. And the reason you back up is because on this baler, when it drops it, it usually just drops it right there. And if you try to put your tailgate down, it won't go down. And all of a sudden, you're going to notice your wheels are picking up. Well, the tailgate's trying to pick up everything because the bale's in the way. So pull up about 6 feet, then put your tailgate down. And then you'll see an icon on there where your bale gate is closed, and it usually is right here. I'll get that fixed in a minute. There's a reason why that's blinking. I've done something, maybe because I took a guard off or something. I bet that's what it is. Then you move on, and once you get good at it, you just can't forget to back up immediately. You don't use, when the 4th beep hits, put the clutch in or whatever you're accustomed to doing, and then back it up. Try to find a good place to back, and then lift your gate, eject your bale, put the gate back down, and when your indicator is showing a closed gate, you're ready to bale again. I bale about 20,000 RPM, 540. I try to stay at that. That's what we got. This New Holland came with a electrical outlet that is just perfect for the John Deere. That's kind of a universal plug-in, just like you might have it. I mean, it's not like your house, but you know, they're standard. Well, this is probably a standard plug for a cord like this. And this big cord comes from the baler. All the sensors, there must be, I bet there's 50 wires in this cable. And it goes down and plugs in underneath the end of the monitor right there. And I had to figure out a way to mount this monitor, and we had a grab bar right there, and I drilled a hole through it and put a bolt through it, and I think it'll hold. It has for 50 bales, and plus I've done other things with this mower with it. But when I am doing other operations, farm operations, I take that cord off the monitor and I get the cord out of here because I'll kick it around, and I'm sure a cord like that is not cheap, and I don't want to buy one if I don't have to. But anyway, that's a start with showing you how to run this baler. I've never had a baler this fancy, and some people in the United States say, well, that's not a very fancy one, but it is for me. And I'm pretty happy with it. I'm impressed with that monitor. And I think it's kind of an old school monitor, really. I think it's been around a while, but it's very efficient, and I like it. I think this whole setup right now, anyway, I might knock on wood, but I'm really happy with it. I think it's going to be good.